Hi, can everyone hear me okay? This is a story called The Other Child. Sarah and I broke up a year back, and we've both seen other people since, but she still calls me when there's a problem. A few months after we split, she phoned on Sunday morning because there was a spider in the bath. I thought it was an excuse, and after flushing the spider away, I put my arm round her. We were both embarrassed as Sarah explained that it was just about the spider. I apologised and went back home to bed. A few days ago, I received another of those "can you help me" calls, but Sarah refused to describe her problem on the phone. "Just come over, please." Of course I said yes, because there was always the chance that she might mean the other thing. Sarah met me at the front door of the block. "You look awful," I said. "Tired, I mean." Sarah's eyes were dark and bleary, and she seemed unsteady. "You always knew the right thing to say." Sarah smiled, but weakly. "Come on, I'll explain inside." I waited in the lounge while she made coffee. She shifted the furniture when I left, and it still felt strange. "How have you been?" she said, bringing the drinks through in a couple of black mugs. "Same as ever, really." We talked a little about our jobs, and Sarah finished her coffee first. She put the mug down on the table as if to say the small talk was done. "I needed to speak to the woman downstairs." "What's she done?" "I don't think... she doesn't seem well." "Well, what should I say?" "Just talk to her. I need to know what you think." So I went downstairs and rung the bell. A woman opened the door. She looked even more tired than Sarah, thick black circles under her eyes. She wore a faded sweatshirt, the neck stretched so I could see the grey t-shirt below. The woman's flat was laid out the same as Sarah's, lounge, bathroom, 2 bedrooms at the end of the hall, but seemed in worse condition. There were marks on the walls and patches of damp on the ceiling. The hallway doors were closed, the gloom a contrast to Sarah's bright flat. I felt awkward. "Hi, you're Paula? I'm a friend of Sarah's." "Oh, come in." Her voice was stretched and tired, and Paula didn't seem to care that I was a stranger. She led me into the lounge. It was as gloomy as the hallway, curtains drawn shut. The television was on with the sound off, providing what little light there was. In the room's corner was a crib. It looked cheap, white with wooden bars, a nest of blankets inside. A faint rustling sound came from it, but otherwise the child was silent. "Do you want to sit down?" asked Paula. "I can get some coffee. Or tea." I didn't need any more coffee, but asked for some anyway. Drinking it would give me something to do if the conversation flagged. Paula went through to the kitchen, leaving me alone in the room. I walked to the crib to see the baby, except there wasn't the child in the crib. Snug among the bedding and blankets was a book. The volume looked heavy and was covered in faded black leather, with some cracks in the cover. There didn't seem to be a title on the spine. "I brought the drinks," said Paula. I turned and she placed the coffees on the table, the same IKEA mugs as Sarah, then stood beside me. We looked into the crib together. I had no idea what to say, so said nothing. "Take a seat," said Paula. "I'll come and join you." Paula picked up the book and, holding it against her chest, took it to the sofa. She sat beside me and stretched the loose neck of her top down, shifted her bra and revealed her breast. One hand under the book, the other cradling its spine, the pages fell open and she held the volume to her chest. The thing was, the book stirred, pages rustling and whispering against her skin. I focused on my coffee, swallowing the liquid, even though it was scalding hot. Whenever I looked up, the book was still suckling. It was hungry, eager. After a few minutes, Paula pulled it away. The book tried to close, clamping around her nipple, and she had to tug it free. Where the book had been feeding, Paula's breast was red, as if bitten. Paula looked at me, and I wasn't sure what the expression meant. It might have been anger that I'd been watching her breastfeed, but it looked more like fear. She replaced the book in the crib, and the rustling continued. "Do you want to come through to the bedroom?" She had turned to face me, her back to the crib. I stood, knowing that I should make my excuses and leave. I looked out the window, wondering what to say, and Paula walked right up to me. Before I could move, her hand was on my hip, fingers under my belt. I looked down, and her hand didn't move. She pulled me close, her mouth against my ear. I promise you, I thought she was going to whisper to me, and she did at first. The book. Her words were breathy and damp. I thought she'd say more, but instead, she licked my earlobe. I knew she wasn't well. Sarah had sent me down because she was worried, and you had to be pretty cracked to do something like that with a book, even one that responds to the feeding. But I could feel myself get hard. I told myself I wouldn't be taking advantage of Paula if she made all the moves. She pulled me into the bedroom by the belt buckle. Once the door was closed, she yanked down my trousers and pushed me onto the bed. The duvet was a nasty garish thing, which made me wonder why she'd chosen it. I lay back and let Paula go down on me, not touching her, not encouraging her. I lay back and concentrated on the sensations until I was close to coming. I warned Paula and she raised her head. I saw her expression, desperate and scared. I wanted to say something, but while I wondered what, I came and groaned as drops flicked across my shirt. Paula helped me clean off the worst. If I kept my jacket closed, the marks wouldn't be visible. You can stay, said Paula. For the night, I mean. Outside, it was barely dusk. I'm not in the habit of running away from situations like this, but I was scared of the house. Partly, it was this strange woman, and partly, it was that book. As stupid as it seems, Paula was scared of something, and a woman who was terrified of a book terrified me. Paula had climbed into bed, still fully clothed, but I stood and did my jeans up. I have work to do tonight. I'm sorry, but do call me. I could have gone straight home, but I couldn't leave without looking at the book again. I had to understand. The curtains were closed, but my eyes had accustomed to the gloom. I crept into the room and peered over the cot's edge at the thing in its nest of blankets. Stupid, I know, but I felt as if the book hated me. I hurried out of the room and the flat. I stood in the stairway for a long time, wondering what to do. If I went home, Sarah would want to know what had happened. It was hardly going to look good. I spent about 5 minutes summoning up courage before I knocked on the door again. Paula opened the door immediately, as if she'd been waiting. I thought you'd gone. I came back. Paula dropped her gaze, then looked up at me. Come in, she said. I think she thought that I wanted to sleep with her, but I simply wanted to know what had happened. I'm going to the bathroom, she said. Make yourself comfortable, and I'll be right back. Once she locked the door, I had the flat to myself, maybe for a couple of minutes, maybe for longer. How much time did I need? The clue would be somewhere here, in a cupboard or wardrobe. I decided to check the bedroom first, to get that out of the way. I didn't want Paula to trap me in there. I went straight to the wardrobe and opened the door. A few sad dresses hung on the rail, most in dry cleaner's plastic. And there it was at the bottom, torn paper, printed text. Something ripped apart, binding broken, cover cut up. But this volume was blue, not black like the thing in the crib. Something bad had happened here. I know how it looks, said Paula. I'd not heard her come in. She placed her hand on my shoulder, and it sat there like a fly, as if about to take flight. I had to. I couldn't cope with both of them. Paula, what happened? What is going on? I tried to move away from her and lost my balance, sprawling on the carpet. Paula had taken off her baggy sweatshirt. Her arms were thin, overwhelmed by the loose cotton t-shirt. Her skin was covered in bruises, even a few small scratches, the sort you might get from a kitten. You have to help me, she said. I keep trying to get rid of the other one, but I can't. It's so hungry. What do you expect me to do? My legs felt weak, too weak to push past her and flee the flat. Take it away. Kill it. Anything. She was sobbing now. But where did it come from? Why is it here? Sobs overwhelmed her. She put her hand on my chest and tried to speak, but couldn't. Beyond a whimpered, please. We went into the lounge, which seemed darker than the rest of the flat. The crib sat in the corner. I didn't want to look, but didn't dare falter as I reached in. I pulled my hand straight back and saw it was bleeding. Something had cut the pad of my thumb, the skin hot around the wound. Please, Paula behind me was anxiously flexing her arms. I grabbed at the blankets, bound the book up in them, and ran from the flat. The street was cooler, and my fear faded. I should never have been involved, but it was over now. I walked away, wondering what to do with the bundled book. Throw it in one of the huge communal waste bins, drown it in the sea, maybe burn it on my bonfire. It pulsed in the blankets. How could I burn this book when I'd not even tried to read it? And I knew I'd take it home. And I realised that Paula, and Sarah too, had known I would. Thank you.
Well, you don't get that with a Kindle. Thank you very much, James. We're going to have another short interval, so see you back here in about 10-15 minutes. Thank you.